Welcome back to Be Real with Jody. I have a hot take today. Here's what it is. If you're always thinking negative about yourself, you're actually really egotistical. You're like, wait, what does that even mean? You're actually really prideful and kind of cocky. You're like, what? What am I talking about? If you're just always thinking like, I can't be enough, I'm not good enough, I can't do anything right, guess who you're always thinking about? You. Let's talk about how we can break free of this because here's the truth. We've all been there. I've been there for sure, where we just like all of our thoughts center around ourselves and we have a hard time focusing outwards. And we usually think really cocky people are just loud and, in everyone's face about how good they are. But actually, when you're sitting there thinking negative about yourself all day long, have just as much ego in you as the other person. It just looks a little bit different. And actually, it feels terrible. Both of them feel terrible. So, let's think about the model that we talk about. Our circumstances are neutral, right? Let's pretend like you're invited to a party. What if your thought is, I'm awkward and I don't belong? How do you feel? When you think that I'm awkward and I don't belong, how do you feel? A little bit anxious, right? A little bit depressed or sad, right? When you're feeling anxious, what do? You overthink about yourself, you sit on your phone, you isolate yourself, you try to talk, but it's hard, it's awkward, right? You're looking down, right? And then when you're doing that, what is your result? The result is you prove to yourself you don't belong, right? You don't even show up and try to belong. So you make it true. We always make our thoughts true. So this is just a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I guess you don't have to fix everything to feel confident. You really don't. You just have to shift your focus. So let's redefine ego. So it's not just loud and bossy. Ego isn't anything that puts you at the center. It's everything that puts you at the very center where it's all about you. Even thoughts like, I'm not smart enough. I'll mess everything up. I'll never be like her. They feel small, but they're actually me focused. Confidence doesn't come from thinking more about yourself. Is about thinking about yourself less. Like, for example, this is a funny story. I was using some self tanner on a friend, and her legs were all good. And the next morning, we were like, "Oh, it looks good." And then she's like, "Yeah, except for my big toe." And she was like looking about how her big toe didn't look as tan. You're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Guess who cares about your big toe?" Literally no one. No one. No one's gonna be looking at it. No one cares about it. And what's funny? Look, what if instead of being like, "Oh no, I look weird, my big toe," it's like it sounds funny when I tell you this story, but have you been there? Have there been like a little thing for you that you're like, yeah, except this isn't good about me, this little tiny thing. And we're like, nobody cares, right? No one's even looking at it. And you know what's funny? If you're just like, look at my big toe, I tanned my feet and I forgot my toe. That's funny. Like, we love people like that. We love people who can just be confident and not have to pretend like they're perfect, right? We're drawn to people who are real, who are vulnerable, not perfect people. So you can just throw that idea out the window. You don't have to be perfect for people to like you. You just have to be real, right? And that's what we do. We talk about being real all the time on here. So here's the truth. Your brain offers you thoughts all day long, thousands and thousands of them, but you don't have to believe them. You do not have to believe them. So, what if your brain offers you thoughts like, I don't belong here, or I'm not good enough? You can ask yourself, is that even true? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about myself? What if all these ideas about how I need to be perfect are actually wrong? So, what does it look like to have humble confidence? Like, we don't have to be like we just realized we don't have to be cocky and in everyone's face telling everybody how good we are, because the truth is those people are actually not confident at all. If you have to tell everybody how good you are you even that good? Like, think of the people you know are like the smartest or the best player on the team or the best cook or the best video game player or whatever it is, they're the best. Do they even have to talk about it? No, everybody knows, right? And here's the truth. If you're trying to tell everybody, it's because you don't realize it yourself. You think if other people believe it, then you can believe it about yourself. And if that's you, that's okay. The first thing we want to do is just realize, like, oh, I see what I'm doing. Like, nothing's wrong with me. I get what it is. But here's the truth. It's nobody else's job to believe in you. It's your job to believe in you. Because it's the truth. You could convince your whole school that you're the best at something, but then in your mind, you're going to be like, yeah, except they don't know the real me. It's never going to be enough. Other people can never make you feel good enough. It's your job, right? Okay, so let's switch to What actual humble confidence? What does it even look like? We know we don't want to be cocky and in everyone's face. We also don't want to be just like telling yourself all this negative stuff and telling ourselves we're being humble. That's not humble, actually. Humble confidence is like, listen, I'm amazing and I had nothing to do with it. God made me that way. And I'm loved and amazing. And let me go find out who I want to hang out with, who I want to be friends with, right? Like, let's find an example. So let's pretend like you're in class, okay? And you don't understand something, right? If you're feeling insecure, right? And you're kind of egotistical about yourself, you're like, I'm so dumb. I'm the only one that doesn't understand this. I don't want to raise my hand. Everyone's going to think I'm stupid, right? And then the other person is like, I'm the best. I know everything. I'm not going to ask for help, right? What would it look like to have humble confidence? I don't know. Think in your mind. I'm thinking I'd raise my hand and be like, I'd be thinking in my mind, like, I don't get this, but that doesn't mean I'm dumb. And I can learn anything I want to learn. Also, I'm sure there's other people that need to learn this. So I'm going to ask the question for everybody. And I'm just going to raise my hand. And I guarantee you, someone else in the classroom, they're not going to come up to me and be like, Jody, thanks for asking that. But in their mind, they're going to be thinking, like, whew, God, they asked the question, right? So it's like confidence is not, I know everything, or humble confidence isn't like, yeah, I'm the worst and I know it. It's like, listen, I don't have to be perfect to be awesome. I can ask questions. Like the most successful people, they are just willing to say, I do not even know what you're talking about. Tell me more. Explain that to me. I want to learn, right? And it's like, that is confidence when you know you don't have to be perfect or know everything or already know how to do something. Like, for example, a lot of you are going to be starting like new jobs or new colleges or high school or something new in the next little while. Okay. If you tell yourself, like, I should know this, I should be good at this already, I should anything, what is that going to do? When you tell yourself, like, I should already know this, or I should already be good at this when you're brand new, what happens? How do you feel? You feel down on yourself. You feel scared. You feel like you need to hide, right? And when you're kind of hiding, do you ask for help? Do you ask questions? No. So then what do? You probably mess up more because you're not asking for the help that you need, right? And then you just create the exact thing that you didn't want. You didn't want to look like you didn't know what you're doing. But the more you just sit and like tell yourself you should know, but don't find out, that's what you create. You don't ever find out, and then you just probably make mistakes, right? So here's the truth. You're not already supposed to know. You're not supposed to know how to go to college if you've never been to college. You're not already supposed to know, this new sport that you're trying. You're not already supposed to be good at it. The only thing you need to do is decide that you're willing to ask a question, you're willing to put yourself out there because here's the truth. So what if you fail? Like I was actually coaching someone today and we talked a lot about this. Like he was telling me how he feels like he needs to prepare himself. Like it worries him that he would tell himself he's good at something and then find out later that he's not. If he failed and he was like, well, I guess I'm not as good as I thought I was. Like, or pretend like we just decided, I'm smart, but then we end up failing something. And then he's telling me that if he believes he's smart, he might end up actually really depressed or really upset if he fails and figures out, guess what, I wasn't. But tell me what's wrong with that theory. Okay. If you're telling yourself, here's the thing, if you fail, okay, if you were telling yourself all the time, like, I'm smart and I can learn things, and you fail, does that mean like you are actually wrong about everything about yourself? No, failing just means like it didn't work. What you were trying didn't work and you got to try something else, right? But if we sit here and tell ourselves like, you're really not that smart, you might feel terrible, then instead of just feeling terrible at the end, we're just going to feel terrible the entire time. Like, let's feel terrible the whole time and at the end. Then we'll just at least know that we were wrong, right? It's like, listen, no, and all it does is actually create the thing that you want. If you're telling yourself you're not smart and you might fail, how do you feel? You feel scared, fearful, just kind of shrink down. Do you try new things and ask questions and, work your hardest? No, you kind of hold back. So you create the exact thing you don't want, which is probably failure. But here's the truth. If you just decide, I'm proud of myself for showing up. I love myself no matter what. I don't care, if my big toe isn't tanned, who cares? Like, my body's not supposed to be perfect. My mind's not supposed to be perfect. I'm not already supposed to know things. But you know what's awesome? Learning. getting better at stuff. So let's just take a chance and let's decide ahead of time. I'm proud of myself and I love myself and I'm amazing. Now what do I want to do? Right? That energy, if you actually believe that, how do you think you're going to show up? You're probably going to take more risks. You're probably going to look for opportunities. You're probably going to try things. And then you are going to create the life that you actually want. Okay. So here's the hack. You ready? We're getting real right here. This is how you really do it in your real life. Okay. So think in your mind, what do I want to feel? Think in your mind. If you were to feel confident, confidence is usually the thought, or the feeling that a lot of us want. If you were to feel confident, what could you believe about yourself? Could you believe you're good enough? Could you believe you're capable? You're smart enough? That you could be proud of yourself? What is it for you? Actually write it down. If you knew you believed you're confident, what could you believe about you? And then you just decide that's true right now, right? Like, let me think. So for my coaching client, it was like he wanted to feel capable. He wanted to feel proud of himself, right? And he wanted to feel like he could achieve his goals. And so we took a look at his life right now and we said, in what ways are you capable right now? What have you done? In what ways have you accomplished things? In what ways are you proud of yourself? And we made a list and we're like, we can just decide right now. We don't have to earn all these goals or earn all this money or do all these things so we can finally feel good enough. Because here's the actual truth, you guys. No amount of success or achievement is going to give you that feeling. If you're chasing the feeling, it's going to keep moving away from you. Every time you achieve your goal, you're going to be like, yeah, but that's not really good enough. And you're going to move the goalpost and it's going to move away from you. So the hack right here, ready, is to believe it right now, to feel it right now. Come from that feeling. If you come from the feeling of confidence, like I'm not supposed to be perfect, but I'm amazing and God's going to help me and I got this and I'm going to be proud of myself no matter what. That confidence, that feeling of confidence is going to fuel you in your life and it's going to help you create the life that you want. So you don't have to be mad at yourself. If you spend a lot of time in your head thinking it about yourself and thinking negative, I don't want you to shame yourself for it. I want you to just take a look at it and be like, interesting that I do that. Get curious with yourself. Like, I wonder why. I wonder why I do that. Well, okay, because I'm worried, right? My brain's trying to keep me safe. There's nothing wrong with me. My brain's trying to help me out, but is it actually helping me? Is it actually helping me show up as the person I want to be and the friend I want to be? Probably not. So here's the truth. We just decide, listen, deep breath. Like you're not supposed to be perfect. You have flaws and amazing things. And guess what? People love that about you. No one even wants you to be perfect because it's not even a thing. And when we pretend like we're perfect, people are kind of like suspicious, like, wait, what's happening right here? Because it's like, nobody, we all know nobody's perfect, but we are really attracted to people who can just be like, yeah, I'm not perfect. They can be funny. They can just mess things up. They can just breathe and relax and just be real, right? So the way you do it, you just decide, I'm not perfect, but I'm amazing. Now let's go see what we can do, right? So try it this week. If you want more help with this, because this takes some practice, okay? It's like you brush your teeth every day. If I brush my teeth today, am I good for the rest of the week? You're like, hopefully not. Hopefully you're gonna brush your teeth tomorrow, right? Like I wake up in the morning with bad breath every morning, and I'm not mad at myself. I'm not like, Jody, oh my gosh, you did that yesterday. I'm like, yep, this is what we do every day. This is the same thing with your thoughts and your brain. We're just going to work on it every day. We're just going to talk back to our brain. Our brain's going to tell us something negative, and we're not going to be mad at it. We're just going to be like, interesting. That's interesting that I'm thinking that. I wonder why, And then we're going to decide on purpose what to think every day. And it gets easier, but it's a slow easier, okay? And if you want more help with this, we can help your exact situation. Let me know because I'm doing one-on-one coaching. In the summer is a great time to do coaching because you have a little bit more time. We can work on your goals. We can work on your mindset for next year. Let me know what you need help with, and I will see you next week.